All right, Dirk Knudsen, OregonPreps.com. I'm here with Coach Smythe, coach at Lakeridge High School, and we're out here at Dick's Sporting Goods today. Coach Smythe, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So we're out here because you brought the guys out to not only meet the great quarterback Dan Fouts, but to talk about impact concussion testing, and the kids are going to get a chance to learn about what that is. Now, I wanted to talk to you about impact for a minute, but I wanted to go back for a minute and talk about how long you've been coaching football.
Well, my first head coaching job was in 1970 at West River High School. I was an assistant coach at Willamina and Tiger, and 1 year at LO before that. So 1965 to now, I'm not good in math, but that's a lot of years.
So with that broad perspective, which has got to be one of the broadest in the region for a high school coach, and you're still going, talk to me about concussions in terms of where were we, how we viewed them, and how it was when you played. Where are we now, and why is it more important now? What are some things that have changed?
Well, back in the day when I played and began coaching, if a kid complained of a headache, it was toughen up kid, and stay away from the water, and those old relic things that we all learned as players. Fortunately, the education of sporting venues and whatnot is advanced to the point where we understand better now, and we care about the safety and the health of our kids as we should. It's, for years we have almost no contact in our football program until Friday night.
I wanted to talk to you about that because as a former coach myself and now being an activist in this battle, it sort of is a battle we're in. We're trying to save the sport in a lot of ways, because if we don't fix it and the injuries don't sort of back down a bit, we may or may not have these high school sports.
It's a crisis that we need to recognize. It's something that if we don't, you're right, we will lose the sport.
So in our work, when we've looked at what the NFL does, I talked to NFL players, they say they'll hit once a week, because to do more than that would basically put them all in peril, because the magnitude at which they play the game. How much has size, speed, and athleticism changed this? Has it been a factor? Have we seen more force on an average high school field?
I think the collisions are just because of the size and the weight and the speed of the kids are more violent than they used to be, and more often than they used to be. I've told our parents for years, if your son gets hurt in my program, it will be on Friday night. We're not going to take risks during practice. I've been a less is best guy forever. I'm a quality guy, not a quantity guy.
Okay.
I don't agree with the more is better, the 12-month football. Oh, I say, you can do anything you want to in your life. To me, it's absurd.
Okay, so you're sort of in that same mode as the league, is that we have to manage this and treat this in a way where we really save the hitting beyond basic stuff. So let's talk about in the Lakeridge program. Are you involved? I'm sure you're involved in the youth football program.
Yes.
Have your beliefs made it down to the youth level? Are they backing down a little bit? Because one thing I know as a youth coach is they love to have their kids hit, because that's what a lot of guys fall back on. Is that something we need to address?
We have talked about that a lot, and I'm not at every practice of the youth program, and so I don't know what's going on, but I know what they're hearing from me.
Okay. So if the league's doing it one way, and I don't know about the NCAA, I think they've got a lot of work to do. Everyone's got a lot of work to do. But do you think that we could all probably find common ground where we can still have a great game, a great sport, but pull back on the number of exposures?
I don't think there's any question that we need to be very aware of the wear and tear on the body during the game of football. If you are a contact guy, if you're coaching football 12 months a year, you've got kids at summer camps and they're doing this stuff, scrimmaging in the summer and going to team camps and right and left. It's a time bomb. What are you doing?
It's become a year-round sport. We've seen the rise this year of 7-on-7 more than we ever thought we would. It's kind of expected anymore if you're going to compete, that you better have at least the kids feel that way, that they better get on a 7-on-7 team. And now we find out, because there's no gear, there's just as many or more injuries going on out there without helmets on. So is that a concern of yours at all?
Yeah, and again, we don't do much in the summer.
Okay.
I don't fall into that.
What the kids have summer.
More is not better.
Right.
I mean, the body needs a break, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I've told everybody that's ever played for me, I want you at your peak on game day.
Okay.
I am not going to beat you up physically, mentally, or emotionally during the week. We are going to be ready on game day. So it's been my deal.
What's a good night for you? What's the night you guys do some hitting to prepare for that Friday game? Is it Wednesday, is it Monday, or is it kind of vary?
Well, basically our program is Monday is input day, put in the game plan, both sides of the ball. So there's a lot of walking and talking and teaching.
Okay.
Tuesday we work on the game plan. Now we'll crack it up a little bit, but still we don't do full contact. We don't tackle. We don't do that. We play higher, but we don't want anybody on the ground. Tuesday we'll look at what the game plan looks like. We'll tweak it for Wednesday, and on Wednesday we should do full go, full speed. Again, no contact, no tackling, but tempo is full speed. Thursday's a walk.
Okay.
Friday we play. So.
Friday we play, and then it's on.
Yeah.
But by doing so, you're you know a lot of programs hitting's a priority. Guys were taught that. You were taught that, I'm sure. My dad, a former football coach like yourself for many years, he played with a leather bonnet back in the day, probably just before you did. Maybe you.
I had my freshman year was the first year of the face mask.
When I talk to parents, and I think a lot of us talk to parents, they say, well, I'll go get one of these new helmets. My kid will be protected. Talk to me about new helmet technology. Has it helped? Does it have the potential to help, or do you think it's not the solution to it?
Well, I think it's probably helped. It's like anything, and equipment. It gets better as people are coming up with new ideas and whatnot, and with the emphasis now on the injuries, I believe they're better, but they're not going to cure the ill. If your form is wrong, you have a chance to get hurt seriously. The head's down, where you don't have a protection, built-in protection because of your fundamentals, and you tackle wrong or lower your head wrong and get hit wrong, the helmet isn't going to help.
Not going to help. Okay, Coach, thanks for everything. And so, number one, if you had to say one thing to a coach that's looking at sharpening his pencil and his program on this issue, is it basically the message that we don't need to be hitting as much? As pull back on that, learn to manage things?
My message would be less is best.
Okay.
Contact is not as necessary as I think it is. I used to have kids, their parents would say, well, you got to teach my kid to tackle on me. I said, no, I don't. He's either got that mentality or he doesn't.
Right.
I can teach him the form. I can do a lot, but I'm not going to make a killer out of your kid if he doesn't have that.
And as a byproduct, do you think kids are hungrier on game day?
I think so.
For the action, that's been my experience.
I think so.
They really are waiting for that special.
I believe that's true.
Because they all want to hit ultimately.
Yeah, that's why they play sport. It's a contact sport. They love it. I want them ready on game night to do that. And I think if I've said this a million times, we beat them up, they're not going to be as good as they should be.
Coach, thanks a lot. It's great to have a seasoned veteran like yourself sort of leading by example. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Coach. It's a great interview. Thank you. Get your copy of that.